Hey everyone, this is Dr. Andrew Heck, president of the Pennsylvania Chiropractic Association. The purpose of this video is to give you guys all an update on the issue we've been having with Capital Blue Cross and reimbursement of electrical stimulation. So just to go through the timeline of events, since we became aware of this situation in late October, early November, we had multiple PCA members, including my own practice, receive EOBs where electrical stimulation was no longer reimbursed because Capital Blue Cross was considering it an experimental or investigational treatment. We launched our investigation into this issue once we had all the data and knew that it was a systemic issue with Capital Blue Cross, and our advocacy team started contacting Capital Blue Cross. Now, when we finally heard back from them in late November, we became aware of the specific policy that was involved with the denial. And that was medical policy 6.048, which took effect on October 1st, 2024. Now, that medical policy is for electrical stimulation with regard to osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis and miscellaneous conditions. So the issue that we had with this policy was with regard to their reference list. All of the conditions that were investigated in the references were electrical stimulation's effectiveness on osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, which broadly speaking, those aren't necessarily the conditions that we would be using electrical stimulation for. It would be more for muscle spasm and musculoskeletal conditions beyond that. They did not include any studies beyond those two conditions, and they also did include any studies in the positive for the effectiveness of electrical stimulation, for which there were many when we did our literature review. This shows that this policy has had confirmation bias with regard to their selection criteria for their research articles. As the PCA was evaluating the reference list on the policy, we also contacted the rapid response team from Clinical Compass, who evaluated the reference list and assisted us with outlining the policy shortcomings. Now, if this is the first time that you guys are hearing about the Capital Blue Cross issue, we had been providing updates for this. Our last update was in the November newsletter. So those newsletters are really important for all of our members to be looking at every month to make sure that you stay informed. The current status of this issue is we sent out a letter to Capital Blue Cross with the outline of the issues that we're having with this policy, and they are currently reviewing that with their leadership team. Now, we have not yet heard a response to this, but I know that many of you have been contacting our home office and some of our other board members. So I want to make sure that you are informed that this is an issue that's very important to us, affects my office directly as well, but also that we are still waiting on some information from Capital Blue Cross to see what's decided so we can choose our next steps. One of the issues that we have as providers is we have this issue that's in limbo. We don't really understand what the end result of these changes are going to be. How do we communicate that with our patients? What our personal office has been doing is we've been acting as if Capital Blue Cross is not covering this therapy, but leadership within the PCA is actively working on this issue. We are charging a self-pay rate for the electric stim therapy in our office. And if Capital Blue Cross then decides to cover it again, then we are going to reimburse our patients. Now, that's my personal office, what we're doing. We can't tell you what to do because every situation will be a little bit different with how you interact with your patients, but that's what our office is doing. As far as the next steps for this issue, so we're waiting to hear back from Capital Blue Cross on our response. I know how frustrating this has been for all of you. It's been frustrating for us, for me, with being in the Capital Blue Cross region ourselves, but the ball is in their court. We are going to be having a bill related to legislative change with regard to copay and other insurance issues. So keep an eye out on that. Communicate with your patients and let them know about issues like these. We're not just a bunch of chiropractors. We also represent our communities and our patients. Once we hear back from them, I will inform you all. I know this has been a very frustrating process, and I know you're probably on your last whim as far as patients is concerned. There's going to be some changes that we're making with regard to insurance beyond just copay reform, because of issues like these that we are having. Communicate with your patients. If you make them aware of issues like this, it's very helpful when they are contacting their legislators. The way that we improve our ability to influence them and make legislative change is if we have more people involved at that level. We are looking at investigations with the Department of Insurance and the Department of Health. We're not taking any option off the table depending on how Capital Blue Cross decides to run with their decision. Please continue to stay updated. I know a lot of you get these videos via email. If people that are affected as PCA members or other chiropractors in the state, please send these updates to them as well. It's important that we all stay informed so we know how to handle these situations when they come up. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Like I said, if there are other people that you know that need to see this video that are affected by the Capital Blue Cross denying electrical stimulation, please send them this video. And also thank you to all our members for continuing to support us. Please continue supporting the legislative efforts with the PAC fund and also with our legal efforts with our legal fund. And just know that the PCA is always working for you behind the scenes. Thank you.